in love. Dinosaurs eating people. That's an acceptable harmony. So how do we know if it's minor or is it major? It's convention. It works, and everyone hears Fenn's tune filtered through her father's ears. That's not good, that's not bad, it just is. We can't take that away. You didn't do a bad thing. We need to be cognizant, we need to be aware that we have an awesome responsibility for kids, 2 kids, and just make sure you're going to the source. What's the source material? It's the kid, and it's temporal, and it's a child is not going to sing in tune, probably. The child is not going to be pitch perfect. The child may hear a pitch and then vocalize something that's not quite there. And we have to take this not quite there and fix and establish, okay, this is what it's going to be forever. Yeah. And that's our responsibility. Did Milo open the door? Like Milo opened the door. Anyway. We could have a different accompaniment instead of the straight block chords, which is influenced by the aesthetic of Fenn's father. If you listen, and I'm not saying he's a bad person, he's a great person. If you listen to his music, right? Go, and his music is on the internet. Go find his music and listen to it. And you're probably gonna hear an influence of his musical aesthetic, of his musical shtick, whatever he does, is going to come across in Fenn's song. And Fenn's musical aesthetic, her way of thinking, may not be exactly her father's. We need, and my aesthetic is jazz. That's what I do best. That's my go-to thing is jazz. I know that. I filter everything through jazz, probably, and I need to guard myself against unwittingly influencing someone else's composition by my own musical sensibilities. Case in point, a child I work with could have this hip-hop thing going on in their head, and I am the last person on this planet who needs to help that person, help that child realize his or her music. I don't have that sensibility. And you may not have that sensibility, and yet we need to acknowledge that that may be the musical aesthetic of the child. And in a visual world of like wire or clay or paint, because it isn't so personal, we can push ourselves, we can hold that painting or drawing or whatever it is at arm's length. Music is so much of who we are that the wrong sound could make us bristle. That's just the way it is. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. What is in the child's world? And so we have to know our kids as much as we can. If you're working in an inner city school, you need to understand that musical aesthetic, and you need to embrace it and build skills that help children embrace that musical or bring their music out. And some could say, well, we're here to expand their horizons. Sure, yeah. Expand their horizons to Western art music, which is the only music worth hearing, is the traditional way. If you work in an inner city school, you're gonna have to understand that musical aesthetic. If you work in a bilingual, largely Spanish-speaking school, and everything is Tejano, you need to understand that aesthetic so that you can help the children understand that. A lot of children's aesthetic is influenced by Disney. Yeah. A lot of what they're hearing and they're creating is going to be very Disney-esque. It's going to be the latest musical. So keep all those very varied ideas in your mind, and just do your best. That's all we can ask.